back in 2006, I was invited over to fish a lake in Bosnia called Pelagicevo Lake with my old mate Simon Crowe. It was organised by one of the local guys over there and it was going to be a friendly competition. We weren't the only ones invited over, and you might recognise a few young fresh-faced people from these pictures that are a bit more well known today. The draw was done and we picked out number 19, fishing in a bay in the centre of the lake, just across from Jürgen Becker and a very good old friend, Kurt Grabmeyer, who's sadly no longer with us. It was a strange swim, strange area of the lake, and actually swim 19 isn't even there anymore. But there was plenty of fish on show and we did our bit, and we caught a number of fish along the way. Consistent action all through the competition, from fish ranging from low to mid doubles. Eventually, after a few days, the competition was won about as far away from us as it could have been, right around in Peg 1, where they caught a number of fish. But it was good fun. We'd caught some Bosnian carp and we went on our merry way back to England, not thinking that we'd ever see Pelagicevo again. However, lakes can change a lot through the years, and just as I found with Lake Balaton in Hungary, Shumba in Croatia, they change a lot over the years. Fish sizes change considerably, and you can find yourself being drawn back to somewhere you'd never thought you'd go back to. And that's just how it was at Pelagicevo. Years later, in 2020, I found it once again on my radar. So, we've arrived in Bosnia. Slept here last night, didn't get a lot of sleep, but looks absolutely lovely. If you can see the lake behind me, water's well down. Apparently it's been like that for 4 years, so well used to it. But when I was last here, I was here about 15 years ago actually with Simon Crowe. Fished over the other side somewhere, and the water was high then, so yeah, it's a bit lower, but it looks absolutely fantastic. It's so peaceful here, it's really nice. Which is a nice change from actually getting here, because I don't know if you can see, one's just jumped over there, just over my shoulder. So it's looking good, but yeah, it was a stressful journey just getting in here. I mean, it was 1,200 miles from England, near enough, to the Bosnian border, and I thought they weren't going to let us in. We actually got turned away from one border because we didn't have a green card. We was told we needed one, so I ordered one from the insurance, which didn't come, so I phoned them up and then they said, oh no, you don't need a green card, you'll be alright, just take your certificate of insurance, which I did, fully comprehensive, so you know, you think it's going to be alright. Get to the border, you know, showed them the COVID test. We had to have a negative COVID test to get into Bosnia, did all that, and then they say no green card, no entry, and we literally got turned away from the border. Didn't know what we were going to do, and ended up driving about 30 minutes to another border crossing. Thankfully they didn't ask for the green cards, we just got across, so we're here. So that was very stressful, you know, and we could have done without it. The first border crossing we were stuck there for about 3 hours, but we're here, that's the main thing. So we're just waiting for a couple of, there's only 5 teams on this week. There's us, there's Moro and Luisella, and of course Christoph and Marina. We're just waiting for 2 Polish teams to arrive. They're driving down at the moment, so we're just waiting for them to get here and do the draw. So we've got, you know, all of this lake, which is basically horseshoe sort of shaped, between the 5 teams, so we've got plenty of water each, and yeah, there's loads of big fish out there somewhere by the sounds of it. There's plenty of 20-25 kilo fish, and a number of 30 kilo fish by the sounds of it, so yeah, who knows, hopefully we'll be getting amongst a few of them. But as you can probably tell from this, it's so peaceful, it's lovely and peaceful here. There's no outside noise from roads or traffic or people, you know, we're inside a locked gate, and it's really nice and peaceful. So Looking forward to a nice week of just chilling out and hopefully catching a few big carp. We'll see, we'll be fishing soon anyway. Happy days.
Is maximum per rod. Fish are quite wild, and if there is lots of food, they just go away. And if you will have them on place, you will never keep them with more food. So if they want to go, they will just go.
Five.
So the draw was done and we came out last, and we didn't think it'd have too much effect. There were 6 areas on the lake. Areas 5 and 6 actually became one area because it was the shallowest part and because there was only 5 teams. But everyone else had their choice, and the area that no one seemed to want was number 2, as it was sort of pushed away in one corner of the lake and also had the smallest area. So, not surprisingly, that was what was left for us, area 2. So we came out last in the draw, but no big deal actually. There's only 5 areas to choose from it anyway, and they're all good areas. And this was the one no one seemed to want. But yeah, I think this is okay actually. Bigger spot than what it looked like on the map. There's quite a bit of water here. I think we'll have to set up the gazebo probably there. But yeah, it gives us all this water around. This bay looks a little bit shallow here, but the rest of this, I know it's done decent fish. I know two weeks ago there was a 33 kilo from this swim, so you know it can do big fish, and hopefully it's going to this time. But yeah, happy enough with this area anyway. So here we go, let's get the gear out and make a start. See if we can catch a Bosnian carp. There we go, all set up anyway. Looks lovely in here, nice and flat. Perfect. A few more bits to sort out, get the beds in there, but before too long, we time to get the rods out anyway. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and me too. Lovely setup.
Yeah, looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you've got a bit of space, there's nothing like a gazebo, that's for sure. Lovely. First proper morning in Bosnia. It was nice to get in the bivvy or in the gazebo last night. Get a proper sleep. Not that we had much of one of them. It was quite a hectic night really, but not really for the right reasons. 5 grass carp during the sort of evening and through the night, so God, that's a bit of a nightmare. I'm not keen on grass carp really. So yeah, not my favourite fish, but just now it absolutely ripped off, and we have got a Bosnian carp. 31 pound, nice mirror. God, I did scream off as well. Good hard scrap. I knew this one was a carp when I picked the rod up. I know Christoph further down, he had a few grass carp as well, but he did have a 24.5 kilo, which is about 53 pound carp. So plenty of 50s in here, and yeah, I mean, if anyone's going to catch one, it's going to be Christoph, I guess. But you know, there is a chance we're going to get amongst some good ones. I think Morrow and Louisella on the other side, I think they've had an 18 kilo carp and 2 catfish. So, you know, it's been an eventful first night. A few carp out, a few catfish and grass carp, but you know, we knew they were here anyway. But this is what we want, and we've got one. So we've made a start anyway. Well, nice new mesh gone on there. Because the other one got grass carped. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah. You can see them great big holes. Oh dear. Netted one grass carp and it tore a hole in the net and literally just ripped through, and so I was playing the grass carp through a hole in the net and it out the other side. So we dealt with that one anyway. Then another one's gone off. Jones played that, a bigger grass carp, 30 odd pound, shot straight through the same hole. So yeah, nice new mesh on there now. That's why it's always worth carrying a few of these extra spare meshes though, because you never know when you need them. Grass carp do have a habit of ripping through them. God. God, that hook wasn't coming out. Slip D. Scope it squid so, man. So, yeah, lovely job. £48.25, so it's getting closer.
I'm sure the sling's right because it's not soaked.
Yeah, nah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I'm starting to get there now. Anyway, got a decent one. 40 8 1/4. But it was a proper hectic night, and it's only second night, so we're doing okay. But I think there was, what was it, 8 bites between sort of last night and this morning. 3 grass carp, 2 catfish, but there was 3 carp amongst them. So, and this was the best of the bunch, and a really nice mirror, let's say 48 1/4. And that was the last one of the night's action, actually. Just going to have breakfast we were, and it rattled off. And yeah, I mean, it felt like a better one straight away. And they really do fight hard, these fish, even though it's very shallow. God, it really did scrap. But yeah, an absolute cracker. The other ones, we had a 32 mirror, 32 1/4, and a 36 common. And which were obviously more than welcome in amongst all the carnage. Yeah, I mean, we could do without the grass carp and the catfish, but so it is, I suppose. That's what the lake is. That's what it's got. So just have to battle through them. But yeah, all the time there's a few like this knocking about out there. It's worth wading through them. There's been some really good fish out, actually. There's been 2 60s and a 50 around the lake last night. So you know, like I say, only 2 nights in and big fish are coming out. So you know, there's some lumps out there, and we're starting to get amongst them. So you know, that's all we ask. Right, time for another bait mix. I haven't been using loads of bait really, just, well, 2 of those scoops for every rod I'm putting out, but you know, you're getting bites off grass carp, catfish and everything else, so you know, still getting through a bit. So this is the mix anyway. Got 12mm stabilised scope squid, scope squid 6mm pellet, plenty of them, 15mm stabilised scope squid, these are all quite small sort of baits. I'm actually fishing a 20mm, 15mm snowman over the top of these, so quite a big hook bait over the top. But there's a mixture of like small stuff out there as a carpet. Right, now the scope squid syrup. I've been using this a bit lately, mixing this up like this, and yeah, it's been working well actually. So basically a really good glug of that, loads of this. That really sends the scent out in the water when that all goes filtering through the layers down to the bottom. That's giving off all sorts of attractors. And look at that, lovely and sticky. It's nice actually if you can leave it for a few hours before you start using it, as then it really sort of soaks into everything. And just mix these up a bit like this first, just to get it all mixed up and the syrup all through it. And I mean, it looks good, doesn't it? And then there's a final little bit on the top is a bit of stabilised scope squid flake, and all that does is really stick to the outside of a lot of the baits. So as the liquid sort of dries into the baits a bit, the flake also sticks to the outside of the various baits. And yeah, well, you get the picture anyway. There's all loads of attraction all the way through on all different levels. You've got different sized baits, you've got boilies and pellet, and the squid flake and the syrup, all leaking out and oozing attraction. And yeah, if I was a carp, oh, it smells good. That syrup smells lovely. If I was a carp, I would certainly want a bit of that. Yeah, so there we go. Lovely stuff. It is a catfish. Yeah, that is one of the problems. I thought it was a carp. Turns out to be one of those. And I can feel just loads of boilies in that belly. You know, that's the trouble. I mean, there's big cats in here. That's obviously just a little baby, but yeah, they eat lots of boilies. And that's the problem with catfish. And that's what he coughed up in the sack. I mean, the guys here are taking catfish out of the lake, so we've been asked to keep them. So put one that was only about 8 or 12 pounds, something like that. And yeah, look at that, he's cleared up a whole baited area there. That's just what he's coughed up. That's without what's still in his stomach. That's why catfish are a nuisance. There we go, but he won't be a nuisance no more as he's off to a new lake. They're being rehomed, so they're going in another lake down the road where catfish are appreciated a bit more than here. So yeah, good riddance anyway. Well, after the warm sunshine when we first arrived, it's turned a little bit grim. It's about 8 degrees today, and it's rained for 24 hours non-stop, absolutely torrential rain, just pounding the bivvy. And I picked up some sort of bug, some sort of, I don't know what it was, like a chill. I had it before, but it knocked me flat for only for 24 hours, and then I'm okay. So yesterday was a bit of a write-off, really. Yeah, despite the sort of clement weather, it's actually fishing quite well. Christoph actually had 8 carp last night. He had about 14 bites, I think it was. 8 carp, 4 grass carp, and yeah, a couple of catfish as well, which, you know, it's a hard night's work for him. Our rods were reeled in, so we slept through all of that. And yeah, maybe not such a bad thing, because it just rained all night. But I'll say 8 degrees today, but tomorrow it's going back up to 17 and a bit of sunshine, so I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, looks like we've got a bit of wet weather coming in towards the end of the session, and particularly the day we're meant to pack up Saturday, it's meant to chuck it down again, so that don't look so good. But well, that's fishing, isn't it? So just got to put up with it. God, the weather's certainly taken a turn for the worse. We've had 30 hours of constant rain. And I was quite ill yesterday. Actually had to reel the rods in last night. I couldn't fish, but okay now anyway. But the good news is this thing here, because this was the target for the trip. I really wanted a 50 pounder if possible, and well, it wasn't looking that great actually. It's been quite tough, catching plenty of grass carp and catfish, but then this one came along, 51 and a half, so and that makes country number 15 for 50s, so I'm well happy with that. What an absolute beauty. Well pleased with that. Oh, right, I'm going to get him back because I'm not feeling too great, and ooh, I think it's going to start raining again in a minute, so right, I think, my darling, let's get you back home. There we go, Joan's first Bosnian carp. Didn't get the fight on film, we weren't sure if it was a carp or one of the other things, but it was, £30 copper. Okay, isn't it?
Very nice, nice colour.
Yeah, fight hard, don't they? Pull your arms off.
Glad it wasn't a grass carp.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly that. Never mind, first one.
Okay.
£50 next.
Well, I've had a catfish and I've had a grass carp, so...
And you've had a carp now.
Right. Nice. Okay.
Despite the weather taking a turn for the worse and not feeling too great for 24 hours, it actually been a good little period for us. Joan wanted to catch a Bosnian carp, and my aim for the trip was to catch a Bosnian 50, so we've both done that, both achieved that, so it was a pretty good little period for us really, but it wasn't quite over just yet.
Switch it off.
God, the first one's always the hardest one to get, isn't it? The aim was like a Bosnian 50, so you know it was quite sort of tense leading up to getting that first one, and next day, guess what? Got another one. It's a lovely fish. Just a tad smaller than the other one, £51. God, I mean, as you saw, it's a screaming take, and I could tell it was a carp, and I could tell it was a good one. You know, it's one of those slow plodders. The big ones here are slow plodders, so you know what you're dealing with straight away. So it's just a matter of sort of how big, really. So there we go, 50 a day at the moment now. It's great here. God, what a difference. 15 years ago these were all little babies, and now look at them, great big mirrors and commons. Absolutely lovely. Brilliant stuff. Well, that's it, van's nearly loaded now. Last few bits, bivvy to come down, and the last few rods. Here we go, it's raining as usual. Always seems to rain up packing up time, doesn't it? But that was Bosnia. Oh, it's been a decent week anyway. We haven't had the best or the most fish by any means, but came here to get a 50 and got 2, so target achieved, can't complain at that. And got a van full of wet gear as we always have, but yeah, long drive home now across them borders. I'm sure they're going to let us out a lot easier than what they let us in. And tomorrow night we'll be back home in front of the TV with a cup of tea. There we go, another trip done, another good one. See you next time.